Hi, Happy New Year. I'm recording this actually on New Year's Eve, getting ready to close up the office for the last time here in 2025 and getting ready to move into January for 2026. But I wanted to take a moment here to share with you a few things that I've learned. Thank you for hanging out with me in such a sporadic year. And let's take a look at what it means to be an entrepreneur in 2026 as women over 50, as women with health challenges or caregiving, or just needing a different pace of business in the coming year. Because one thing that I have learned, and it's becoming more and more apparent the longer I'm in business, is that we are more than entrepreneurs, and sometimes we forget that. Welcome to Doing Business Gently. I'm your host, Marta. Here on the podcast, the goal is to create a safe place for us to talk about creating a gentle business, one that is designed to fit you, your values, priorities, personality, and the current season of life you're in. Learning to do business gently and in a way that aligns with your faith, your health, and your calling is one of the reasons we're here. And we're learning how to do that from a habit and a place of rest, because business starts with rest. Remembering that we are more than an entrepreneur, that we wear a lot of hats, we have a lot of roles that we have in life. I think sometimes we need that reminder. And one of the reminders that I often need is to tell Superwoman she needs to leave the building. That is not what this is about. But we are grandmothers. We are wives. We are mothers. We are caregivers. We are chronic illness warriors. We are in a mid-season of life that is changing how we view business and how we view running business alongside family and alongside of our personal interests and hobbies. And a lot of times when we look at doing business, business can get so big, especially if it's something that you're doing to support yourself, not as a secondary income, but as supporting yourself as a woman entrepreneur with an online service-based business. Let's get really specific here. That a lot of times that business can overtake everything. And we forget different parts of us that need to be considered when we are running our business, planning our business, and moving into a next stage of business. And if you are looking to pivot, if you are looking to make changes, if you are wanting to do business differently, and all of these include me in 2026, I have to do things differently. And I need to take a step back and acknowledge and understand the other responsibilities, the other roles, the other hats that I'm wearing need to be taken into greater consideration and not an afterthought, because it's easy for me to get caught up in business and forget I'm using my energy and my time and my thinking skills in more ways than just as an entrepreneur. A couple of lessons that I have learned this year, and I've heard this word thrown around a lot, and I think it's because people are finally coming to terms with understanding where we are in our businesses and our abilities, but it's capacity. Capacity has to be taken into consideration. For me this year, I have fought capacity. I've been working with a counselor this year because the stress of caregiving had gotten to the point where it was becoming an issue and it was interfering with everything. And so I've been working with her for about a little over a year now, especially as my mother's health has dramatically changed and continues to change and needing a lot more of me. And one of the things we talked about is capacity. And we talk about capacity a lot because I can easily forget that I've just spent hours over here taking care of my mom, advocating for her, making sure she's getting the best care possible, and then expecting myself to come back into my office with the exact same energy level to market my business, do some product development, go and do troubleshooting, coach my clients. And that's not always the case. And a lot of times when I'm trying to move from one role to the other, I forget to rest. And that is something that has become very apparent this year as well, beyond capacity, is rest, how important it is. And not just sleeping rest, finding out what kind of rest I need. Is it that I need a brain break? Do I need to talk to my counselor because emotionally and mentally I am just feeling fried? Do I need to talk to a business coach? Because business is very difficult this year with everything that I'm trying to juggle and make happen. Do I just need to sit still? Do I need to pray? Do I need to go for a walk? Do I just need a glass of water? All of these impact capacity, and all of these are forms of rest. If you have something that you love to do that doesn't feel like work, that often is your form of rest. I love to go take a walk with my dog every day. I love to explore where I live. And that over the years has become critical to my form of rest, to my form of stress management. And when I don't take those walks, or we have a series of raining buckets of water and we don't go out on our walk, not only does my dog start to have behavior issues, so do I, because I'm not expending that energy and I'm not getting out there and managing that stress through walking. That for me is a form of rest. And when I forget that, that also impacts my business. It impacts my ability and my capacity to be somebody with a marketing hat on, to be somebody, as my clients call it, my coachy hat is on. It does impact my ability to be present with my mother when she needs it. So capacity and learning to rest. The third thing is that really come into play, and this is, again, I got to credit my counselor for this because she has taught me this, is that I have had times this year specifically, in this season of intense caregiving and advocating, I have really felt like business, I've been a failure at it, that I haven't done it well, that I'm not to the place where I thought I'd be by the end of this year. And she's reminded me over and over again, you've used up a lot of your energy for your mother. And when you have done something that you're very excited about, either in your personal life or in business, there's a couple things that have happened. Time, space, and pace. The goals that I have accomplished, I had the time and gave myself the time to do it. I created space on my calendar to go do it and go do it gently. And I found my pace to go meet that goal. Time, space, and pace. Those are three critical words that have become so real to me the last part of this year, and helping me understand that in this season, my calling is to keep serving the clients I have and keep honoring the commitments that I've made, but also to take care of my mom. This is when she needs a lot of help. And that's okay, because I am more than an entrepreneur. And when I don't take the time to acknowledge the commitment over here from my mother, I am putting a lot of unrealistic expectations on my business and me in my business. That's not fair to my mom. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to my business. And in the end, it's not fair to my clients, because I'm expecting so much of myself and sometimes punishing myself because I'm not doing what I think I should be doing. If I had taken the time to rest, if I had looked at my calendar or looked at spreading things out, or not trying to do 50 million things at once, because yes, I still do that from time to time. I'm expecting too much of myself, and everything everything feels like it's falling apart. But when I learn to step back, okay, how much time do I have to work on this today? Have I created space in my calendar? Have I created physical space in my office or in my home to actually put my focus here? And what is the pace that I need to take myself through this project, through this goal? How much time do I need to put aside and say, today is the day I'm going to go visit my mom and be present with her? I've had some pretty big ahas this year, especially in the last few months. Things that those things that you know, but you don't really get it until somebody says something, or all of a sudden you get this insight that you go, where did that come from? But, oh, I needed to hear that. I've had a lot of those lately. One is that I am a caregiver for my mother. She is in a memory care facility, and I have to be there a lot of times to manage her care and make sure that people are paying attention. Even more than caregiving this year, I've been in advocacy mode. I have been making sure she has a team around her that sees her, understands her, and is there to take care of her in the way that she needs to be taken care of. I am learning that type of caregiving and that advocacy is different from being there day in and day out, taking care of physical needs. And that's been a big, important aha for me. You may have needed that too. I have talked to other women who are in a season of caregiving, and for them, it's been more the day-to-day caregiving and making sure that they're taken care of and that all their medications are delivered. That is a demanding position to be in. I have been there. And this season, I'm a little more advocating rather than actual day-to-day caregiving, and understanding that that takes a different level of mental and physical energy than the day-to-day caregiving has been a huge eye-opening experience for me this year. Also, because one of my roles is caregiving and advocacy, I haven't acknowledged how much time that it takes every week. Not just in terms of physical energy and mental energy, but physically being there, driving to and fro. And it really hit me recently that that's basically the equivalent of a part-time job. Sometimes it's about 10 hours a week. Sometimes it's about 20 or 30. And again, when I look at that versus, oh, why am I so tired? Am I having trouble focusing in my business over here? Well, there's a reason. And until I acknowledge that, until I understand that, it's putting a lot of unrealistic pressure on my shoulders and on the shoulders of my business. I'm sharing all this because I want you to look at your own life. I want to look at the roles that you have going on. Are you fighting chronic illness? That takes a lot of mental, physical, and emotional and spiritual energy. Are you a spouse? Are you taking care of a household? Are you trying to be more present with your family and your grandchildren or your children? These are so important. And a lot of times we forget, because it's just a kind of a natural thing we do in life, but we forget what it's going to take mentally, emotionally, spiritually to be there and be present with your family or to deal with the health problems that you're challenged with. And then expect to have that same energy in your business or vice versa. You've put so much time and energy into your business, then you expect to have that same energy for your health issues or being there for your family. That's not fair. That's not fair to you, to your family, to your business. Because we are more than entrepreneurs. We do wear a lot of hats. We are women who care, and we want to serve our families well. We want to serve our God, the one who has called us into business. And we also want to serve our business well, both the business as an entity, but the clients that we're called to serve and the work that we're called to do with them. Your business does not exist in a vacuum. Your life impacts your business, and your business impacts your life, but it also impacts your energy, your health, family, faith, and your sense of purpose. As you are looking at what's going to happen in your business in the new year, or you get to the end of a quarter and you're looking back at the first quarter and you're getting ready for second quarter, don't forget to take this into consideration, that your business isn't the only thing going on in your life. You've got other demands on your time. And to be totally honest, as we get to be 50s, 60s, and we're still doing business and we're still trying to do it with our families and our health, we've got to approach business differently. It's not the same thing if we were starting out in our 20s and we could just go, go, go. If you are here, it's because you are ready to do business differently. You're ready to do business gently. And this is something we're going to be talking about even more in the new year. Things that I am learning and I would love to share with you. Things that I am practicing and trying in my business to simplify and gentify or gentlify my business so that I am taking into consideration my capacity. What type of rest do I need in this season? And giving myself the time, space, and finding my pace. Because as I learn these lessons and incorporate them and integrate them into my routine, my life, my thinking, which is not always easy, but there are days that it kind of just hits and lands. I go, boy, I get it right now. And I give myself the tools and the resources to do business differently and gently. My business is different. It has been different in the last couple of weeks as these lessons have become even more apparent. Things I've known but are sinking in and becoming a part of me. I am getting excited to share with you in the coming weeks and months of what changes I'm making and what is really helping. Depending on when you're listening to this, this is December 31st. I'll be uploading this on January 1st. In January, starting January 5th, I'm offering January Planuary because I am not somebody who is going to have everything planned by January 1st. I love to take the month of January to review the year behind, to get ready gently for the year ahead. We're going to be looking at business plans, word of the year. What are some of your initiatives that you would like to put together? When and how are you going to rest? How are you going to review your business so that you're staying on track and you're staying in focus? And how are you going to do that all from a place of rest so that you're giving yourself time, space, and pace so that this year is a good year in business and one that you're excited about and that you're looking forward to without feeling stressed out all the time. I'd love to have you join us. You can learn more at SelaStudios.co/January Planuary, or the link will be in the show notes below. But I just want to remind you, you are more than an entrepreneur. And I hope you hear this, that even though business is hard or life is hard, as women who work from home, we need to learn to see ourselves as a holistic unit, as a person with different parts and responsibilities. And when one area of life or business is difficult, it doesn't mean that you're a failure at the other parts. So you are more than an entrepreneur. Your business does not exist in a vacuum. We do have to integrate and have a life-first business, but it takes intention, it takes planning, and it takes rest. So Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to talking to you again in 2026. And I hope you have a wonderful new year and that you are looking forward to business in the new year.